I hope you're all out there. I'm waving. Hey. I am just going to show you a little bit of what I've been doing to my jacket. Yes, it's a jacket tour. Everyone does those. Well, basically I have this black denim jacket and I have been adding patches onto it as I've gone. So here's a little bit of a tour of my jacket. These, ooh, focus. These are all beauties that I've, yes, Ravenclaw. These are all beauties that I've added to my jacket as I've gone along. Flippy over to the other side. This is the dark side. We have the colourful side and we have the dark side. This is the dark side. And these are all patches that and badges that I have collected along the way. Sad Ghost Club, yay to the Sad Ghost Club fans there. Flim Night, yes, Flim Night is my most treasured one. It was given to me by my eldest child, who actually used to host this beautiful thing that happened in Manchester, Newcastle, Sheffield and London, to name a few places. But yeah, great Flim Night. Looking forward to the return of those if they ever come back. I do hope so. So, youngest child has donated this to me, and she said, "This really is you, mother." They know me so well, my children. So this is one that is going to be sewn onto the jacket. I've just got to find a place for it. I do believe it's going on the dark side, obviously. Not quite sure placement wise. Let's have a little look. Maybe somewhere on this side. That would be too armpity. Maybe down the front here, probably, yes. That's going to go there. Oh, I forgot to show you the sleeves. These are the beautiful patches I got from Eldritch Rach. I think I showed you this in a previous video. So they're all on there. On the other sleeve, I don't know what I just dropped there. Something is my Mothman. I love that. Then it's growing. It's not only but also I have on the back these beauties. These are on the top placket part. I think that's what you call it, placket. I could have made that word up. But also, I have got space on the back for something huge and I don't know what to put there. So any suggestions would be greatly received. If I can find a huge patch of some kind that would fit in with my aesthetic, which you can see is bright, creepy, but cute, and also dark, but cuddly. That's the kind of aesthetic we're going for there. Yeah, do drop me a little note in the comments if you can think of anything beautiful that would fit there. Meanwhile, I shall get on with stitching on my new patch. Okay, so another little task that I will have at some point during this month. I'm going to try and start it this week, perhaps today. I did do a few sketches and some outline drawings just to get a feel of what I want my thing to look like. But basically, I should introduce the thing first, shouldn't I? The thing is a poem that I wrote a few years ago for NaPoWriMo, which is National Poetry Writing Month, which by coincidence starts on the 1st of April. And basically the premise is you write a poem for every day of the month for the whole 30 days. So in the end, you end up with 30 poems. I think I've only ever achieved the full 30 twice. I have got halfway through a couple of times and maybe a quarter of the way through the rest of the times, but I really enjoy it. It's quite a nice way because I like to work with words as well. And so one way of combining them is I was going to do a zine. I've been wanting to do a zine for years. Years and years. This, and I've researched it and everything, how to make one, obviously not, I don't know what I'm quite trying to say there. I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, getting back on track, this is a poem that I wrote for one of those prompts, and it is called, I asked my daughter what I should write about, and she said, write about a vampire, write about taking a vampire to the beach. So basically this is called Taking a Vampire to the Beach, and it's a whole poem, got quite a few verses, as you can see. So the thing is, I've got to try and figure out which of these scenarios I'm going to try and put into my zine and illustrate them, because I want it to be an illustrated poetry zine thingamadoo. So wish me luck. So here is a sketchbook that you might have seen previously. I think I showed you something out of it. I've actually managed to complete it. I may have completed it by doing some swatches, but that doesn't count, does it? That's all fine. So, ooh, hello, knocking things over. Okay, so I thought I would just quickly flip through this and show you, because, you know, it's all part of the journey and part of the process. Okay. Rainbow dreams, yeah. And then I did some weird blobs with faces on. I call them potato eggs. Yes, well, we'll skip over that one. This page was just a quick, I think I'd just been trying out some swatches, and I thought I'd just paint over it and do something weird. So I did. And this is one of my blue dogs. It's a different blue dog. This one is, he's sitting in the garden. Usually they are in a garden, strangely enough. But yeah, that was a little blue dog sketch. Then this is me planning out a blue dog embroidery, and that's the actual one, kind of the one that I did. So he ended up like that. Then over the page, ooh, a nice long abstract-y thing. I do like doing abstracts. I think it kind of frees up, because my love in the main is colour. I'm a colour addict. I have a definite colour palette that I like to work with, but I do like all of the colours, or I like black and white. So one of the two, but mainly at the moment working colours. So this is quite a long double page spread of circles in the main, and plants, which is some of the things that I find crop up in my drawings an awful lot. This is going to be the basis of something. This was actually planning out another textile piece that I haven't actually made yet. It was made probably about May last year, this piece, and I haven't actually done anything with it yet. But it's sitting there waiting. Also some more crazy abstract pieces that I also like. It's like taking your line for a walk. So basically I'll draw an ink line in my page and then try and either doodle into it. It's kind of a little bit, what's the word? Zen doodly kind of thing, but not so much. It's more of an outpouring of my brain. So obviously I have fish on the brain in this one, and this one it's birds. So if we look at this one, I've got a bird there, I've got a sideways bird there, and yeah, so birds is where we're at, and balloons. I don't know what that tells you about me. I obviously did quite a few of these, so this is another one I did, and then another one, and at some point in time I might make these into bigger ones because I quite like them. They're quite fun. I might mess around with the colours a little bit, but I do quite like those. Yeah, not quite sure what's going on here. I think I'm working to a prompt list. There's an artist called Janet Skates that I was following, and she was doing like a 100-day prompt list. I don't think I made it through the 100, but I did make it through a few. So she'd give a general day prompt and you'd try and go with it. So I think these were the first ones I did. Tea, honey and ginger, very important, in a very beautiful cup. And another one of my abstract pieces there. This is a creature that I designed And if you wait there, I'll shout at you as I go. Shouting, fetching the thing I'm talking about. Why am I never prepared? Never prepared. But hey, I'm back. And here he is. Here's the guy I'm talking about. So I made him. He's got a very nice fringe. Let's see if I can take it up a bit so you can see more of him. There he is. And that's his portrait. Yeah, he had a portrait before he had an actual body. So don't know how that works, but there we go. Okay, bye. Bye. And back to the sketchbook. So here we have Mr. Jingles. Mr. Jingles, if you are a Stephen King fan, if you are especially a Stephen King Green Mile fan, then you will know of Mr. Jingles. And I made my Mr. Jingles a circus mouse, and he also has some wings because he's magical. And then of course this is Blue Dog. I showed you this last time, which is my blue dog that I did. A birdie in a tree with some weird Christmas tree. This was another one of those line drawing things that ended up being some kind of bird in a tree situation. Clearly eggs. I don't know if they are clear, but that's what they were. So it was like I had a bowl full of little Cadbury's chocolate egg mini eggs, and that's what they are. So yeah, mini eggs. A woman sat in a garden, and then another abstract piece, which is one of the things I'll do when I want to move you back in a bit. When I want to kind of just clear my mind. It's quite a nice thing to do. I sometimes used to do this in the morning, just draw something random and abstract and then just paint, because you don't need to think about it too much and you're just working on your instincts. So you're adding in colours instinctively and then adding in little mark making things. I find that quite a relaxing thing to do. This is me designing some paper. I would like that to be some kind of a paper at some point in time. I don't know if it would repeat well, so I'd probably have to fiddle around with that. And then while I had the paint out, I thought I'd practice my foliage. So there we go, the foliage practice page. These are the guys that I was looking for earlier. So these are the ones I want to make into cards, because I don't know if you've visited my Etsy shop. If you would like to, it's called Kooky Creatures on Etsy, and I have quite a few different greetings cards in there. They're greeting card notelets because I tend to keep them blank so that people can do what they like. So you can write a letter in there if you want to, and it's just a nice thing to send on to a friend. But yeah, so I thought I might do these two, and I may do these at some point this week. More abstract doodles. Obviously birds crop up a lot in my work, I have found, and this one is clearly my hand, which I then doodled over. Do not like this. Have no idea what was going on this page here, but I don't like it. I don't like the colours, I don't like the shape of it, it's just weird. And then also to accompany the weird butterfly, we have weird anteater. I'm also not keen, but there he is anyway. This is what sketchbooks are for. They're for trying things out, like these circles, which I wanted to be like planets and things. So trying out some of those. Another bright little do on this side. I was practicing some trees on this side because I think this is another Janet Skates prompt, which was to draw some trees, so that's what I did. This looks quite tribal. This ended up quite tribal. This looks like some kind of a weird entity of kinds hanging around in the middle of this tribal piece. Then, by contrast, these are my two personalities, obviously. On this side, a very pretty bird with some trees. Plant drawings. These again, I think they were from a prompt. So I got two plant drawings there. Don't like this. Again, it was another prompt to draw some sweets and cakes, and I don't like it. But so obviously to counteract that, I did some birds. More birds. This is another kind of a backgroundy painting that I did. Just something to put my pieces on. When I make felt pieces, I like to make them a little background. So this is one of those. This is an awful painting of some flowers. I don't mean to be self-deprecating to myself. No, I don't mean to be awful to myself. But sometimes you're there with me, aren't you, people? Sometimes you do something and you think, what the heck was I thinking? And that's probably one of those moments. These are the blown flowers first attempts that I did. I have some cards, not these particular ones, but something along these lines that are in my shop at the minute. That was just another background to piece, some art photography. Art photography, what am I talking about? Some of my felt photography. A cloud. Yeah, I can't really say much more about that. This is another one of those doodly walk drawings, and it's what is beautiful, or what is true and beautiful. We have to try and find the words in there. It's kind of like a word search as well. This is another backgroundy piece, another doodly walk piece, some fishies and some stars. And this looks kind of a bit steampunky. It's like cogs, and the colours are kind of reminiscent of like a steampunky vibe. Owls! You see, we jump from things like that to things like this. I can't define my style down to one thing. I've got quite a few things in my style. I just realised I've left a brush in some water, which is a cardinal sin. So I'm just going to take that out. But yeah, I can't decide. So I'm just going to keep going with what I do best, which is most things. These are the very first Grant the Cat paintings that I did. And a little foliage piece there, and then a bigger Grant the Cat, which then ended up being a square painting that I did, which is now on cards and prints. This was a planning for a hoop that I did for a friend. It was a felt embroidery hoop, and I was planning some ideas out, and these, I think I went with the double one in the end. This is a quote that I decided to illustrate. It's impossible to explain creativity. It's like asking a bird, how do you fly? You just do. So that was quite a nice quote. This was done in November, middle of November last year, when I was practicing some winter foliage for some Christmas cards I was making. Again, a bear. This bear made it to another piece that I made at some point in time, but also I think I used him on some Christmas cards, and then that's another practicey bit there. And this is where we get to the bit where I do swatches, and you've seen the swatchy pages, so I just quickly flip through all these, and then we are at the end. La la! Ooh, that was from a beautiful boat trip we went on. We went to Amsterdam a couple of years ago. Highly recommend those damn boat, guys. You can go on the cruises on the river through Amsterdam, and they have big places, you know, big boats that take lots of people. This company take, like, I think it's 6 people at the most. No, probably more, probably about 8 to 10 people, and you can take picnics on there and blankets and have a really good time. So those damn boat guys, highly recommended in Amsterdam. So getting back to the jobs in hand, this was a little first inky drawing that I did of my vampire Vlad, who is the poem that I was mentioning earlier about taking a vampire to a beach. He's the guy. So this is going to be the basis of him, I think, or something along the lines of. This is kind of just like a scribble, get it out of your brain, practice with little gold bits of ink kind of a page. Because, you know, sketchbooks can be messy. They don't have to be works of art. It took me a long time to work my way through this, and now I actually use a sketchbook to work for me rather than me working for the sketchbook. So yeah, reclaim your lives, people. The sketchbook's supposed to be there for you. Little shout out there. Little rant over. So yeah, sketchbooks. You're for us. So on the other page, I think I'm going to do him for the beach. He's going to wear like a little Victorian, you know, the little Victorian beach wear that they used to wear. So he's going to have that, but he's going to have lots of things to keep him protected from the sun. There's also lots of things in the poem that I need to include in. So the things that I need to include are, I don't think that's in the poem, but I kind of fancy him in either a kiss me quick hat or one of those little knotted handkerchief hats. But he'd have to have something else as well because he's a vampire, so he's got to have more protection than a knotted hanky. So I think over on this page I kind of thought like a parasol, so I was going with a parasol idea, which I haven't yet drawn out. So kiss me quick hat. He has a bamboo mat, obviously for sitting on when he's on the beach. At some point he's listening to a brass band, and he's got a bag of chips and a stick of rock, which is there. This is the brochure that he shows everyone at the beginning of the poem. Black pudding. Black pudding that will all come in to make more sense as I get through the poem. Specsavers, that's where he goes to get his sunglasses from. Those are his sunglasses that are recommended, but obviously you can't see his face behind them because he's a vampire, you know? They don't get reflections, they're not reflectors. So when he's trying them on, he can't see himself, he can just see a pair of floating glasses. Yeah, so this is what I've got so far. And this is the kind of idea I'm going with, and I want to do things along this line. I don't know whether to kind of try and limit my colour palette, because you know I love all the colours, because it's a vampire. So I might think along the lines of limiting my colour palette down, and then make him into a zine. So that's all to come, people. And I will go along the process with you of that, possibly in the next video. So here ended this weird and wonderful collection of things in my mind. Do have a lovely week. I will see you here next week with some more strange collections of things to show you. Maybe I might have ventured a little further afield because I'm going to go on a few walks as I have a lovely week off ahead of me. And so it's ta-ta for now, my lovelies, and I will see you next